is the federal government and/or the Trump administration, are they able to provide bonuses for retention and bonuses for hiring incentives to start building back our staff?
I don't know if we do for local and state law enforcement agencies. We have been doing that at our federal level with our departments, CBP and ICE. We have done that. We also, I put in the budget request a 10% increase for all of our federal officers. I wasn't granted that, but we're gonna get there hopefully in this next budget round. I will look to see what latitude we have to do that. We'd have to do it in a way of grants with restrictions that it could only be plugged into salaries and bonuses. I think, you tell me, we've done a lot of hiring bonuses. And for me, it is just as important to do retention bonuses. I think it must be extremely discouraging for officers who've served for years to see other individuals hired with a huge hiring bonus while they've been showing up and been dependable and been doing the work day after day and not see that. So it's one of those things that we're working on in our department as well.
Thank you. And just a side note to that is that we're seeing things now where officers will buy 3 years worth of military time and they do 17 years and they walk out the door at 20.
That's
so they're
right.
not even doing their full 20 anymore. They just want to get out.
That's
so
right.
Whatever we can do to help retain them and
hang on to them. Did you lose most of your people through retirements and early retirements like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since 2020, we had our riots and our protests. Our projection right now is by 2030, 54% of my membership will be eligible to retire.
Okay.
And they're projecting that we'll be down to 500 officers at that point.
See, and that's our challenge at the federal level too. We've got Secret Service is under my department, and we see that though through other federal agencies that we've got the next 2 or 3 years a high number of retirements coming our way. We've done huge recruitment drives, and we've hired a lot of new officers, but we also need to hang on to them and make sure we're taking care of the ones that are with us. All right, let me look at that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hey. Good afternoon, Madam Secretary. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to answer our questions. My name is John Crystal. I'm a captain with the Newark Police Department and the president of the Newark Police Superior Officers Association. Question here is, how does the Department of Homeland Security foresee the current Trump administration reconciling federal policies with state policies in referencing to the sharing of information by local and state agencies when it comes to illegal aliens wanted for crimes? Mm-hmm. Some of our sanctuary states, just like New Jersey and Newark, they've implemented policies, executive orders, introduced legislation barring cooperation with the Department of Homeland Security with sharing of this information.
Yeah, I was disappointed to see that come out of New Jersey. It's been hard to see that. We've seen several states and governors stand up and say that they were going to stop cooperation and make it illegal to partner with us. One of the things that we need to do a little bit more is highlight how our 287G agreements can be flexible and can work differently. I'm coming to meet with a lot of the New York State sheriffs here real soon and get some ideas from them on ways that we can have informal agreements if necessary to do that. There's also, I found that a lot of sheriff's departments, smaller departments, don't necessarily have the technology they need as far as retina scanning or databases that feed into the federal systems. And if we can help with some technology funding and get that into these departments, it would help us on the national scale, the federal scale, but also help you guys be able to get people logged into the system, and at least we would know where these bad actors are. Even if there's not much cooperation going on as far as honoring our detainers or cooperating with us, at least if we know where these criminals are, we can still be aware for when they're released on the streets. But for us, our preference is to always figure out a way that we can work together. On enforcement operations, at least to be able to have local law enforcement provide backup or respond should we need officer assistance. Beyond that, it'd be great to have these communities honoring our detainers. But I will continue to go talk to these governors, have conversations with leaders and state legislators to see what I can do to push back on some of this legislation we're seeing.
All right, thank you very much. Oh, by the way, another question. Are you religious? Because you're the answer to all my prayers.
Oh, there we go. I am, sir. And who knew?
Oh, gosh.
Good deal. You're going to have to top that one. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a tough act to follow.
Right.
Let me
He
tell you
might be my favorite.
New York's always hard to follow.
That's right, it is.
Guys? Okay. I'm Sergeant Walcott. I'm the Chief Steward with the Memphis Police Association for Memphis Police Department.
Well, look at you. You guys have been rock stars.
Woo! Y'all have been rock stars helping us out. So I don't get this up a little higher. Firstly, everyone in this room knows that Memphis has statistically been one of, and in some years, the most dangerous city in the United States. Mm-hmm. The federal support that our department has received since September of 2024 has been nothing short of a miracle. Our crime rates are much lower when compared to the same exact months the preceding year when we had no help. And I don't mean lower like the national average. I mean lower like our murder rate is down 35%. Mm-hmm. Our aggravated assaults are also down 35%. These are current numbers. Our robbery rates are down 58%. Mm-hmm. And our motor vehicle thefts are down 68%. I say all this to say thank you for this help. And it has been invaluable and truly proves that more law enforcement with reasonable but aggressive tactics equals less crime. My question to you would be the following. I'm extremely concerned about cartel activity, which you touched on shortly ago, all throughout the country regarding drugs and human trafficking, but especially in Memphis, as it's considered a hub for the cartels. Is ICE itself putting any extra special emphasis on cartel activity in particular, since their reach appears to be much longer than most people realize, and they reportedly even threaten agents with bounties? And does classifying cartels as terrorists help combat them from that? Is that a tool to help you combat them?
It does. When President Trump declared the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, it opens up the door for a lot more authorities that we can use to go after them. So now, and you've seen him obviously partner and take action against leaders even in Mexico. And that is just the start of the operation that we are undertaking as the Trump administration. Listen, what happened under the last administration by having that open border, it allowed the cartels to get rich, to grow, to become, they had unfettered access, and their ability to make money was compounded over and over and over again. They could do whatever they want with the human trafficking and drug trafficking. So they are extremely, extremely wealthy and strong and sophisticated in the technology we see them using against us, and their ability to operate in cyberspace as well, and then with how they're using drones to bring drugs over the border now, and tunnels that are almost like pipelines where they're not even large enough to shoot people through, but they are enough to get drugs through. So we have all kinds of new challenges, and that's why President Trump is undertaking going after the cartels by addressing it from the Western Hemisphere. He will have a big agreement that I'll be there with him on Saturday with the Department of War and the Department of State on how we're going to go after cartels and drug trafficking in the entire Western Hemisphere. So this challenge, we've realized, is big. We've always known that, but if we're really going to address it, we have to look outside of our borders to kill off the cartels before they continue to build up more and more strength and keep killing our Americans. But you guys have done what, I think everybody in the room wants to grow up and be Memphis for what you did. But I would say that the work that happened, just so everybody knows, what happened in Memphis was their mayor was willing to work with us, who is a Democrat, was willing to partner with the federal government, and the resources and dollars that went in were not just from the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of War contributed, the Department of Justice contributed. It was incredible to see different agencies in the federal government go and show up and cover the costs of having that operation and make sure that people there could see a difference and they could see hope again. And people almost need to see it and feel it. That's what happened in D.C. when we did the D.C. operation. Is it took a few weeks for people to realize and feel the difference of what it was like to be in a city where you could walk down the street again, where you could go have dinner again. You didn't have to worry about your car being carjacked if you wanted to go out for dinner that night. And once people feel that, it's almost like they get to feel freedom again, and that's what Memphis is providing to them. So we need to figure out a way to tell your story to other cities and show them that it can be an opportunity to restore their way of life again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for
so
your
much.
leadership. You
Yes,
bet.
ma'am. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir. You bet.
You mentioned the but the obvious difficulties and implications of having the sanctuary city laws and the states not supporting the feds and things like that. What are some of the vehicles that you guys can use or will use to try to, I don't want to say get around that, but work with the conditions that you guys are under to still be effective as federal law enforcement in those sanctuary city areas?
Well, if it's a sanctuary city, we have an opportunity to form partnerships then with sheriffs and do that in a state. Many times sheriffs are elected officials and they're accountable for what their crime numbers are in their counties, and they're very close to the people. So we find a lot of progress working with sheriffs and in those situations. If it's an entire sanctuary state, most of those sheriffs and police departments are concerned about liability issues and the laws that may be on the books. I would say that for all of you, though, to know that a sanctuary state looks very different from state to state. The laws may be completely different. So if you are interested, if you are a sanctuary state or city, I need to come sit with you or have someone from our team come sit with you, really go through with my attorneys your state laws and see how we could still work together and not have you live in fear of being punished or being held criminally liable for not abiding by those sanctuary laws. We can challenge them, and the federal government and Department of Justice is going to be challenging sanctuary states and laws. In fact, today in the House Judiciary Committee, they're marking up a bill in Congress that would ban sanctuary cities and states, that would use the supremacy clause. So if we could, it will pass out of committee, and I think it can pass out of the House. We're hopeful the Senate would take that up, but it's a constitutional compliant piece of legislation that would fundamentally change the way that we do public safety across the country. So if that can happen in the meantime, we figure out how we can work together to do notification of individuals that may be released or individuals that we could partner with you to get them out of your community. You bet. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. This is going to sound a little bit like a sales pitch, but it's not, I assure you. I work for a company called Vertex. We already have a very nice contract with Homeland Security, so this doesn't count.
Good.
I bring a unique perspective. I don't have a question for you. I have a comment.
Okay.
I live just outside the city of Portland. Mm-hmm. I work on our federal team, so I work with your agents all over the country. HSI, ICE, Secret Service. I see them being treated like garbage in various places, up to and including with extreme violence. The perspective I bring is this: I have not worked with a better group of people, more professional, humble, quiet professionals. They're amazing men and women, all of them, and I didn't want to miss this opportunity to tell you that directly. So thank you very much. That goes to you, your staff, and all of your agents across the country.
Well,
thank you very much.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I will let them know that you said that. That means a lot to them. They face some challenging times. They have a lot of good days too, but they're just trying to do the right thing and make sure that we're doing the job and upholding the oath that everybody took when they signed up for law enforcement. So, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for letting me be with you. You have a fantastic meeting. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for coming to this conference and spending some time together. I hope you get some fellowship. From what I understand, cops are pretty good at that. So you have fun. I'm sorry I can't stick around for it, but God bless you. And may God continue to bless our great country. Have a great day.
Hey guys, just take your seats until we get into the motorcade, and then we're going to take a break.